All right, Sooner Nation, we got some updates. Coach Brent Venables had his winter press conference to basically end out winter practices as spring practices begin on Monday. And he chopped it up about a lot of different subjects. And so a lot of the stuff y'all need to hear because it was mainly about the newcomers. And boy, your boy's getting excited. But before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. We're going to dive into Coach Brent Venables' press conference and some of the nuggets in there that jumped out to me that y'all have to hear about, right? So we'll dive into that. Before we go there, let's talk about the Autograph app. Hop in the description below. You'll see my link. Check it out. It's where all Sooner content can be found from some of your favorite YouTubers, as well as articles, all in one application. It's pretty dope. I got offered to jump in there and join, so you'll find myself, the Oklahoma Breakdown, you'll find OU Insider, all the best out there from OU Nation, as well as even some of the competition. You'll see some people in there like Nino's Corner, as well as Fanatic Perspective, my guys that I do stuff with Bleacher Report at. So you can check that out in the description below. Use my promo code because they do ticket packages. They got giveaways. I think there's going to be something being given away later today. So hop in there, click the link, and definitely hit the promo code Unfair Sports so they know that your boy sent you. So let's dive into Brent Venables' press conference because, man, I'm telling you, I'm stoked about what's going on. So first off, the first thing that came out, and we've got to address this point blank at the beginning, Coach Brent Venables gave us an update on the First Lady of Sooner Nation, Julie Venables, and she is cancer-free. Woo! Yeah, you got to show the excitement for that. To God be the glory. Just blessed. It's a blessing for him and the family, and love that Sooner Nation rallied behind him and gave him all the love and support. He talked about that and how great Sooner Nation is and how much he loves coming back, being back here, you know, coaching 15-something years here and everything. And so, yeah, Julie Venables, cancer-free. So make sure y'all show some love to Coach and everything. It's been tweeted all evening yesterday or whatnot. And for those that did miss it in social media, that is some big news. Love to hear that. Now, from there, I think the other thing to really talk through is going to be, we got that waiver, right? Our boy Justin Harrington got his waiver, got announced yesterday morning. He did receive it. So he'll be back for his 7th season. Looking healthy. Venables mentioned he looks like he's healthy and he's ready to play. He should be ready to go for the summer, which is awesome. Actually, should probably be out there doing some stuff in the spring. So I'm pretty stoked to see him go out there and add additional depth. Because that's what we need, baby. The big thing about going into SEC, everyone talks about how physical it is, right? So you got to have bodies. Attrition is important. And that veteran leadership is going to help with the development of the young guys. So we've got a lot of good young ones that are coming through. And Venables expanded on a lot of those players as well. So I want to talk about some of the transfers, and then we'll talk about some of the freshmen, the early enrollees, because we had like 22 of them. And man, the early enrollees are already looking impressive. Told y'all, that 24-karat gold class, some special kids. So on the transfer side, Deion Burks was definitely a big conversation piece. Coach Venables talked about him and just how talented he is. He's fast, quick, great route runner. And Deion himself in one of the interviews mentioned how the way Drake Stoops was used is what made him want to come to Oklahoma. George Stoya had tweeted that out during it, and he made mention about that, and he wants to have a big impact like that. And to be honest, you put that dude in the slot like that, man, he can be stupid. Like, he posted on his TikTok this video showing him, you know, battling it out in winter ball or spring ball at his old school over there at Purdue. And dog, that dude mean. Like, he mean. Something y'all like in a wide receiver, right? He's going to go out there, bust his butt. He's going to make some stuff happen. And then, you know, he's going to run his mouth. I know he's an elite noise talker. I bet he just be yapping nonstop and just getting into the head of all those secondary players, in which I appreciate that because, you know, I like it when you can rattle up them boys and work them up and get them going. So we know that he's going to be something special with that. He had a lot of hype coming in. From there, and actually somebody mentioned, I think it was Stoya mentioned that he was a lot bigger than he expected. Can't beat that, right? That's always huge when you have a guy that looks a lot bigger than you expect. And so That wide receiver room on top of him, Venables talked about Jalil Farouk looked his best. Having a veteran that can catch and is very shifty as him is huge, especially helping shaping these young guys, right? You know, he's had his faults, but at the same time, the dude's immensely talented. And if he gets it all together this year with everybody else, man, Jackson Arnold's going to have a lot of weapons, and there's a chance that dude's going to throw for a lot of yards, like a lot of yards. And it's all about who steps up and becomes that one. So we're seeing Farouk look like the best version of himself. He's a hard worker. We need that. Keep that going. So on top of that, Jackson Arnold's had himself a good spring. Everyone's raved about him. Every player that's been talked to him, they talked about him. They're like, yeah, man, that kid's special. He's going to be something. And they love how his mindset going into things, which, hey, man, we told y'all it's going to be something special about him. All we got to do is see him execute on it. We saw flashes, and I sense that we'll get more of that going into the year. He also talked about, Venables also talked about Zach Alley coming in and how, you know, he's been able to step back more, and he likes what Alley is doing. So the sense is that he has a lot of trust in Zach running things. And some of the players mentioned, yeah, man, that dude's he's like a Venables clone. Like, for real. Like, we keep joking about it, but players, everybody keeps saying it. Nah, dog, like, he's for real, like, young Venables. He's like Brent Venables Jr. Like, he's like a kid just, like, literally reenacts everything their dad does. So, if that's the case, I expect an intense defense next season, even more intense than we had last year, especially because we got so many veterans coming back, right? I mean, we lead the SEC in most production returning. It's going to be nasty. And so Burks was big. Michael Tarkin as well as Fabichi Wewu had some conversations and interviews. Look like they're pretty excited. Tarkin is planning on playing tackle. That's his plan. That's his goal. And so we've got tackle depth. And a lot of people have been saying that Fabichi Wewu looks like ridiculously strong and very talented. And I'm hearing Gabe and Teddy talk about him. Gabe was really raving about him and how it looks like he could solidify his spot on that O-line. Can't beat that, right? Going from there, your early enrollees, right? Like, of course, the transfers, there's a lot more in there. We'll talk about that more on the live stream this weekend. But going into the early enrollees, I'm just going to tell y'all, man. I told y'all that Todd Bates was eating when it came to coming into this defensive line recruiting cycle, this past 24 cycle. And so you got Jaden Jackson, who came in at around like 270 something, and he said he's like 297 now. So Schmitty's been putting in work on that boy. They want him over 300 by the season start. That tells me he's probably going to get some run. I expect seeing some freshmen play out of Jaden Jackson, not only playing the nose, but also in some 3 technique, because BV mentioned he's talented enough to play the 3 as well, even at that size. Like, he's got the quickness to be able to do it. And the same thing with Stone. I think Stone's up in the 280s, almost 290s. They'll probably get him closer to 3 by the time, if not by the season start, by the end of next season, he'll be over 3. And he'll be definitely a 3 technique. And they said he's beasting. Like, he's got that work ethic. The big thing for him is just getting stronger. All you got to do is keep getting stronger. Like, he looks the part. He moves the part. He plays the part. He just got to get stronger. And if he keeps getting stronger, he'll be able to muscle them SEC linemen and go. So, we won with that one. Nigel Smith heard that he's out there putting in work too. Schmitty's got him working out, and he looks the part as well. Now, the one that y'all got, I mean, I say the 2 steals of this class is definitely going to be Jaden Jackson, because everybody underappreciated how good of a talent he can be. But Danny Okoye. Yeah, we talked about Okoye. Remember, Okoye been on the show. Favorite part about Okoye is when he came on and we asked him about why he liked playing football, and he's just like, he just enjoys the violence. He's going to terrorize quarterbacks in the SEC for the next 3 years. And I say 3 years because he's playing next season. He's going to get some run. They're going to have to play him in some parts. They're going to have to give him the opportunity just a little bit. He may not get a lot as a freshman, and y'all know me. I'm not big on freshmen playing immediately, but the defensive line, I don't mind it, especially if you don't put them in coverage. If their goal is just to go after the players, they'll have the instinct to be able to make that happen. That's usually where it's harder to confuse, but at the same time, I mean, you can do that, play actions, RPOs, etc., so on and so forth. But Collier's like over 250 now at 6'4", and he still runs like a 4.5, 6 or something like that. That's like, you know, Will Anderson Dallas Turner type players, those Bama dudes, they get them in the jack position where they just go out there and just terrorize. Yeah, I think Okoye is going to be that. I truly do. I think him and Jaden Jackson are probably the most underappreciated people in this class. They're going to go out there and be hellraisers, and I love it. Oh, just understand the defense is going to be so good next season. Like we sunshine pump it, but I think y'all need to understand truly, defense is going to be stupid. Reggie Powers, of course, is being impactful, which we love to hear. That kid's going to be special. And yeah, the wide receiver room, you got big old Ivan Carrion, who's out there making them routes go. Zion Kearney, blazing, while at the same time just being elite in the route running and catching ability. Like, we've got rooms that are just dumb good. Just dumb good. And all we've got to do is put it all together because the talent is there. The pieces need to be put together. That's it. And I anticipate, man, defensively, soon the team's going to be nasty. So that's kind of the cliff notes from the Venables presser and some of the players' stuff. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. How y'all feeling going into spring practice? Monday spring practice. So this weekend is the big freak weekend. And then you've got spring practices starting on Monday. And we're going to start finding out who's who, what man's what man, and what we're going to get out of things. I'm just going to say this, man. Just don't be surprised if, we make waves in the SEC, right? It's going to happen. If you made it this far, you like the content, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Love for y'all to join this family of college football fans. We talk a lot of OU football. We're mixed in college football in general. Having a blast doing it every single moment we get a chance. So now that we're in spring practices, we got a lot of conversation stuff. So we'll break down depth charts and stuff soon. We'll talk about that as the practices go on. And got anything? Holla at your boy. We'll talk soon. Peace.